recording.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hey, welcome back, guys, to Cindy and Char's B2 podcast. I am Cindy.
And I am amazing.
And
Okay, I'm Char. It's not ever going to get old.
okay. So we were born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, and influenced by the 90s, and we're here to reminisce with you. So, Char, what are we going to talk about? Well, actually, I got to know what you're drinking first.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, whoa, slow down, Cindy. That's hot. You're coming in hot.
Yes.
You have yours. Why don't you start, and then I'll hop over to mine.
Okay. So, as you may know, we were together last weekend, and it was amazing.
It was. It's awfully lonely in this room right now, Cindy.
I bet it is. So I had told Char she just had to try these, and she didn't end up loving them. And she wanted me to try her drinks, and I didn't end up loving them either. So we definitely have different tastes, but I am drinking my little Seagram's Escapes. This one's the Peach Bellini, and I mix it with some Sprite Zero, and I also mix it with some coconut rum. So it's delicious.
Yeah.
What you got, Char?
It wasn't that I didn't like them. They were good. They were very sweet, though, for me. And I don't really care for super sweet drinks. So that was kind of the problem.
That's fair.
I should have, you were kind enough to leave them all here with me. So I need to try it without the extra. Just the Seagrams. Maybe a little extra vodka in it because they are really light. But
yes.
Nothing that I have today. I do have two because you know me. I'm extra. Neither one of these are new, though. I haven't had time to go to Total Wine. But one that I have is this one. There we go.
Vodka soda peach.
It's the White Claw vodka soda peach, which this one is, I think, one of my favorites, if I remember correctly. So let me try it real quick. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's really good, actually. And I forget what the alcohol is on those ones, and then for a backup, I have another Unruly Truly, and this one is Strawberry Smash, which I have not had. The flavor's new, but the drink is not new. So let me try this one.
But that one's strong. It's like 8%, right?
Yeah, these ones, the Unruly Trulies, are unruly. That's delicious also. It is kind of sweet, but you can definitely taste more of the alcohol in this one. So it kind of tones the sweetness down a little bit. Okay. But it tastes like strawberry juice, like real strawberry juice. So those are both delicious. So I'm just going to double. I can't decide which one I like better. So I'm just going to double fist tonight.
Might as well.
Yeah, whichever. Am I feeling peachy or am I feeling strawberry? I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Very good. So what do we want to talk about?
I believe today's topic is going to be let me show you real quick. So, quick story.
Noticing. Is it for the Steelers?
Oh, yeah. So for the listeners, which this will be coming out after we go to the game, but last year, so my husband is a huge Raiders fan, has been ever since he was a baby. I have been a Pittsburgh fan for 20 years, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh and Raiders once a season play each other. So last year, they were playing on Christmas Eve. And so on my birthday, Isaiah surprised me with tickets, round trip, upgraded tickets to Pittsburgh. And he already had the hotel and everything all day. He just planned the whole trip and surprised me with it. The seats were amazing. Like he got really, really good seats, like right down on the field, like close to the 50-yard line. They were like amazing seats. So we saw that the weather was it was going to be cold. We're like, okay, so we made sure that we got long johns and nice cold weather boots and new jackets, and like we got everything. Well, the weather kept getting worse and worse and worse, but everything was still good. We were still fine. So we were flying out early on the 22nd because the game was on the 24th. So we were flying out on the 22nd. We kept watching the weather. It's good. We took the dogs to the dog sitter and she said, "Are you guys going to be flying out tonight?" We're like, "Yeah, it's fine." All the way up until 11 o'clock at night, everything was fine. Then somewhere around 1 in the morning, ice covered Portland. And our flight got canceled.
Oh my God.
Literally a few hours before our flight. So we were not able to get out. Our driveway was like this thick of a sheet of ice. So we couldn't fly out. But they weren't going to be able to fly us out until like the 24th, which the game was on the 24th. We would have missed the game. We wouldn't have gotten there until maybe Christmas. So it was stupid. Isaiah couldn't even resell the tickets. They were very expensive tickets and they were very good seats. He was trying to sell them for like $100 and couldn't even sell them. We watched the game, stuck in our house, iced in, watched the game, and nobody was in the stands. So he has I surprised him with a Raiders game. We've been to 2 Raiders games in person. So I keep saying, one of these days we need to go to a Pittsburgh game. So he surprised me with that, and then we didn't get to go. So when we got back from my birthday trip, I was in Chicago for work, and he asked what I was doing the weekend after you guys left.
Yes.
And I said, "I'm not sure." And he said, "Well, actually, I need you to not be doing anything." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he gave me the dates, and I was like, "Wait, that's Saturday through Tuesday. Do I need to be asking for time off from work?" And he said, "Is that going to be an issue?" I'm like, "Well, I was just out for 3 weeks. So, I mean, probably not."
Maybe.
But so he said, "Do you want to know what we're doing?" And he just sent me my ticket for the Raiders Pittsburgh game in Vegas. So that's where we're going to be on the 13th, I think. Is that Sunday? So October 13th, which again, when this airs, it'll already have passed. But so these are for the game that we're going to.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be so awesome. So anyways, back to today's subject, we are going to talk about from the 80s, our celebrity crushes. And it doesn't necessarily have to be celebrity crushes. Like, I mean, it can be actors, movie stars, or even somebody that you had a crush on, like from school or something, which you probably didn't have a lot because your boyfriend was pretty much the same all through like junior high and high school. So you may not have had a lot of crushes.
I still had lots of crushes though.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I can't wait to hear about them. So how about I start?
Okay.
I already told a very embarrassing story about one of my crushes, JPS.
Oh, yeah.
He was probably my biggest crush for several years.
Yes.
But aside from him, something that was more obtainable was Kirk Cameron.
Oh, of course.
I had a way better shot with him than JPS.
Yes, definitely.
No, I had a huge crush on... sorry if you can hear that. I'm downstairs because the lighting's better and my dog is out here barking. So I'll go beat him in a minute.
Yeah, right.
But Kirk Cameron was probably my biggest crush.
Okay. And what show or movie or whatever, what made you, that made you fall for him?
You know what's funny? A lot of people tell me this. So if you have one, maybe you should put it up. But my senior portrait, I look like Candace Cameron, Kirk Cameron's sister.
I can see that.
Who played DJ on Full House.
Yes.
So every time I show somebody one of my senior portraits, they say, "Oh my God, you look just like Candace Cameron." I do not look like her anymore, but my senior portrait and her we look like we could be siblings.
I can see that.
It's come full circle. But yeah, Kirk Cameron on Growing Pains. Oh my God, I had such a crush on him. And like every Tiger Beat,
Yes.
Yeah, Tiger Beat. What were
And
the other magazines? The Teen Vogue?
Teen Beat or Teen Pop? I don't know.
I don't remember. I just remember Tiger Beat was like the big one, but
Yeah.
every time he was on the cover, I was like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I loved him.
Mine, I really had a crush on Ralph Macchio, and that was after
He's
the
on my
Karate
list
Kid.
too.
He was so like young looking and just sweet, and I don't know. You know, he reminded me of someone that our whole Girl Scout troop had a crush on that lived around the corner from me with the initials SS. And we had
Oh yes, I remember him.
Doesn't he have a Ralph Macchio little bit kind of
Yes.
quality?
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. He was so
'Cause
cute though.
I think he stayed at the elementary school when everybody else went to the junior high. He was one of the ones that stayed back with me. I don't think he went to junior high with us, did he? I totally forgot about him. He was so cute.
Yeah, he was. He was.
He was.
Remember, I don't. What did we do? The whole troop did something. We all went over there and left a present or did something. Like, do you not remember that?
I vaguely. I had totally forgotten he lived around the corner from you until you just said that.
Yeah, he was cute.
He was so cute. He came to our school late, right? Wasn't he like the new kid at one point? Because all of us started going to school together in kindergarten. So anybody knew we're like, you don't belong here.
Right. Well, speaking of that, in 8th grade, when TT came, do you remember? Oh, I had the biggest crush on him. Blonde, cute. He was from Canada.
Oh, duh. Yeah. He went to West Side.
Or something, yeah.
Not West Side. West Point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, do you remember the story?
Oh,
of when
yes.
So there was a guy and he was super cute in school. He
Every girl had a crush on him.
He was super cute. Blonde, blue eyes, kind of buff and new. So, that was, and from I think he was from Canada.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I guess everybody had a crush on him. And then one day he rode home. We all rode in Dana's little Volkswagen Bug. He'd like give everybody a ride home. Mm-hmm. And I remember he was like, hey, there's not going to be anybody at my house. Can I come to your house after school? I was like, okay. And so we're just like hanging out, talking, sitting on the couch, and I'm in awe, like, oh my God, TT is here at my house. And then you called me. And of course, this was back when there's no cell phones. No. This was the phone hanging on the wall with the cord.
Yeah, you couldn't like low key be like, OMG B2. TT
no,
is here. There was none of that. Yeah.
So she called and I answered it. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm just hanging out with. And he was sitting over there. And you were like, shut up. What are you really doing? No, really. He's at my house. And you're like, oh, okay, let me talk to him. Hey, here, Char wants to talk to you. I mean, you could tell you were just like, who is this? And he's like, his name. Char was like, put Cindy back on the phone. And you were like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Wait, didn't I say, shut up? Who is this really?
Yeah. And he's like, and he was like,
he's all TT.
Right.
He didn't say his last name. He just said T, but.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got back and you're like, oh my God, what are you doing? What is he doing? And I'm just like, and he was sitting right there. So I couldn't, be like, saying,
yeah.
I'm just like,
you're like, oh my God, I know. I was probably like, oh my God, you better let him feel you up. You better get to second base with him. I don't remember what second base is, but
no,
I'm assuming it's filling somebody up, right? It's like touching the boobies. Isn't that second base?
Probably.
I skipped all the bases and always just went for a home run. No, just kidding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So then, but I did kiss him, or he kissed me when he left, and I thought I was going to guy. Like,
So did we ever find out if he was like crushing on you also, or was it just like, hey, thanks for letting me stay at your house, kiss on the cheek?
I don't even remember what
Or
the
was
kiss.
he like, hey, can I stay at your house? Boop, chicka, boop, boop.
Well, I mean, he kissed me, so obviously there was
Like a
something.
kiss? Like, was it
It
an
was.
F kiss?
It wasn't an F kiss. I don't remember. It definitely wasn't like some.
How do you
F
forget
kiss.
that?
I don't know. I just remember it
You're right.
happened.
You have the mind of a goldfish.
Right, I do. So I remember later in my yearbook, like senior year or whatever year it was, he put something like, "Oh, we could have been married by now, but you had to go get a boyfriend or something like that." I was like,
Oh, so he probably totally had a crush on you too. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, people don't like. I know you don't think you were, but you were part of the popular crowd. You hung out with all the popular people.
No,
Yes, you did.
in class maybe, but not outside of. We never did anything.
Well, you didn't do a lot with anybody but me, but
Well,
that
that's
doesn't
true.
count. Like these were, I mean, there were points in our lives where you were hanging out with a totally different crowd than me, and
Yeah.
I was hanging out with a different. I mean, we always come back together, but we've had these moments where, like and there was a time in high school where those were your people. And I mean, I knew them, like they all knew who I was and I knew who they were. Like I was one of those where I just kind of hung out with everybody. But like my brother was a stoner, so I had a lot of
Yeah.
friends in that group.
So did I.
I know, but
I didn't hang out with him. Like I hung out with Susie.
yes. And she was part of that crowd.
Okay.
You were one of the cool kids in high school. You were a popular girl.
Okay, whatever.
You weren't like a snob or anything. You were just one of the popular kids.
Hmm.
And then I was guilty. I was guilty by association.
Yes, definitely. So who did you have a crush on in high school? I know. I think
I had a lot of crushes.
one of them, I think he's passed away now. Yes.
Oh yeah. I asked him to Sadie Hawkins.
Yep.
DQ.
Yep, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. He has passed away.
Yeah.
So we can say his name, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, you had a crush on it. It's not like you're saying anything
I'm not
bad.
saying anything bad, but we'll just keep it secret. But yeah, no, I had a huge crush on him, and I ended up asking him to the Sadie Hawkins dance, and he said yes. And so I like bought our matching T-shirts, which I think were Body Glove, because remember that was super popular back then.
Oh yeah,
and it was like fluorescent pink and blue, and it was like a white shirt with. They were really cool. And then at the last minute, he was like, "No." He didn't go, whatever happened. But here's a really funny story. I don't know if I told you this or not, because you didn't go to the 10-year high school reunion.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you weren't there, but I went. And I went with Aaron. So me and Aaron, and then Diane, of course, and her boyfriend at the time, and a bunch of others. So we all went together, and he was there. DQ was there at the 10-year reunion, and he got super drunk. And there was an after party after the reunion. So all of us went to a hotel room, and we were still hanging out, having drinks. And he was trying so hard to get me to go to his hotel room. And I was so grossed out. And I was like, you missed your chance. Yeah, I was able to reject him. I'm like, remember when you didn't take me to the Sadie Hawkins after you said you would? Well, no, I will not go to your hotel room with you. No, it was not that dramatic, but I just remember being so like, ugh. Like he was so cute in high school, and he was so sweet, and he played football, and he was buff and kind of short, if I remember. He had a good physique, and yeah. So that's too bad. But I had a huge crush on him in high school. But also in high school, I had a huge crush on Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
I had a huge crush on Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And we grew up in a small town with very, very little diversity.
Right.
And I just remember my dad's like, "Oh no, you do not have a crush on him," because
I
I wanted to
remember that also.
marry him, and he was like, "No, you're not." But that's also, which I think we may have talked about this before. So back then, records were the thing. We wanted
Yeah.
records, and I wanted Michael Jackson Thriller album so bad. You had it.
Yes.
Everyone else had it. So that's what I wanted. So for Christmas, my dad got me Off the Wall, which was the record before, which was probably discounted in a bin for $3. So he bought that one instead of the $20 Thriller album, which, don't get me wrong, it was a great
Yeah.
PYT. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
It
it's a
had good
great
songs.
album, but I wanted the Thriller album, and my dad would not buy it for me. He bought me the Off the Wall album, but I had a huge crush on Michael Jackson.
Yep. I'm trying to think. So,
What
had
about
crush.
Ricky Schroeder from Silver
Oh, he
Spoons?
was so cute,
He
and
was so cute.
he's turned into a good-looking man.
He is. Kirk Cameron is still quite handsome, and so
Yeah.
is Ralph Macchio.
Yes.
And Rick Schroeder, he's another one that's still quite handsome.
So is Kip Winger.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, they're
Winger.
coming to Oklahoma City for a concert. I'm
Are you
like,
going to go?
No.
Take your
I don't
mom.
know.
Remember, she had such a. Your mom's like, he's
Right.
so cute.
Yeah, he's still cute. Oh,
Yeah,
the
no,
tickets
he's still
are
a
like,
good-looking guy.
I don't know. The tickets are kind of expensive.
So I think you might have had a crush on this person also, but Corey Haim.
Who
From,
didn't? He's
right?
so cute.
From the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah.
I
He
haven't
was so
seen
cute.
him lately, so I don't know what he looks like now. But...
He passed away.
Oh, what? How did I
Yeah.
miss that? When did he pass away?
It was quite a long time ago. I think he might have
Took his own life?
Maybe.
Oh, that's so sad. How did I not
know.
know that? Oh, wait, I do remember, because Corey Feldman and him were very good friends, and he was all broken up about it. And that's when Corey Feldman kind of
he died in 2010.
went off on the crazy train, right? That Corey felt like after Corey Haim died, because they were such good friends, that's kind of when Corey Feldman started getting a little like cuckoo cuckoo.
It said he struggled with drug addiction, but that an autopsy revealed that pneumonia was the cause of his death. But I think that, all that Hollywood, stuff about people getting abused when they were younger as child actors and stuff. I think that he also had to deal with that happening to him.
Well, drugs and alcohol, especially in the 80s, luckily people like Drew Barrymore came out of that, but River Phoenix, that's why there are so many young actors who are no longer with us because the partying in the 80s and that kind of stuff, the abuse, and so sad.
Well, I want to talk about another man who was hot then, and he might be equally as hot now. Rob Lowe.
Okay, you know what's funny? I kept going back and forth with Rob Lowe because I was like, I don't really think I had a crush on him, but I've always thought he was so cute. And he is still, to this day, quite handsome. He is a hottie. Yeah, yes. He is. Yeah.
Well, and
he's been with his wife for like 30 years or something like that. Him and his wife have been married for a very long time. And
that's great.
His wife, back in the day, she looked like every other woman in the 80s, beautiful and skinny. And she's not now. She's a bigger girl, and he still loves her just as much. He's very proud of her. I'm like, like, we couldn't love you more.
Right. He is so cute. Yeah, I love him.
Okay, so wait, when you were talking about Ralph Macchio, you said Karate Kid. I actually really fell in love with him during My Cousin Vinny, which is my second favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Comedy.
Second to Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Yes. Yeah. So Dumb and Dumber is my all-time favorite. And then second is My Cousin Vinny, which I can quote my whole Cousin Vinny movie also.
Yes.
But that's really where I fell in love with Ralph Macchio.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I liked him in Karate Kid.
Yeah. Do you watch the new Kai
Cobra
something.
Kai. I
Cobra
have
Kai.
not. I haven't.
Apparently it's really good. I haven't watched it either, but apparently it's really good.
I know. I don't know. Did I tell you that The Outsiders was filmed in Tulsa, and Chris and I went to the house that they lived in, and we went to the drive-in movie theater.
Yes.
There was a whole bunch of little locations where it was filmed because I love that movie
Have I ever
and the book.
taken Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Have I ever taken you to the Goonies house when you were here visiting?
No,
Oh, because that's like an hour and a half away from me.
I knew it was over that way. I didn't know it was
Oh,
that
yeah.
close to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So last week when
we
I
would
was
love
telling
that.
the story about the sleepy little beach town with our
Uh-huh.
friends and I was up all night, that little town, Goonies, was filmed in part of that town also.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to go there the next time you
Yeah.
come to visit. I'll take you over there.
Definitely.
There's the jail. That's a museum now that you can go in, and the Jeep thing that the old lady drove,
Oh, yeah.
that's parked out in front of the jail. It's the actual car.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all right here close. So we can go do that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So Stand By Me.
Mhm.
Remember
that was
when
in-
they remember when they go running across the trestle?
Yes.
We went camping there when we were kids. So my dad, his version of camping was you load everything up in the truck and you drive out in the middle of nowhere. You go off road, you go out into the forest, and then you find a really good spot where it's secluded near water and nobody, because my dad did not pay for campgrounds. Bathrooms, you dig a hole. You need showers, you take I can't tell you how many times my mom gave me a bar of Ivory soap and said, jump in the river and go take a bath. But we would go camping, and my dad found this spot that we ended up under that trestle.
That's awesome.
Yes. And it's beautiful. My brother and I, that 2-man raft, we took that and we just went out. See, that was one of the great things about my dad also. He just let us be kids and go explore. Like, go get lost. Like, we literally would get lost, and we're like yelling and whistling until they're like, come this way. But, so we got to go explore. So one of the things that we did is we got in the raft and we went all the way to the other side of the lake. And we ended up in this cove where the water was super deep, but it was so clear you could see all the way down to the bottom, which was
cool.
so creepy. And then we swear we saw Bigfoot. Like, we were out and I don't know to this day what it was, but we were convinced it was Bigfoot. So instead of going back across the river to my parents, we decided to go closer to land to get out and go explore and find him.
Oh.
Which we did find what looked to be giant footprints. And we tried following. It was the craziest thing. But also at that same spot when we were camping. So when we got back from, finding Bigfoot,
Yes.
we went the opposite way up into the woods, and we found a bunch of caves, and we started going through these and one of them we went in, and it was like, I don't know if it was an old lava tube or something, but it was very deep, and it got to where it was big, but then it got smaller, and then it would open back up and get smaller.
Yeah.
But at one point we were going through the cave and it got to one of those small parts again. And all of a sudden a ton of bats started flying around.
What?
Yes.
I do not remember hearing this.
Yes.
It's crazy.
So we freaked out. We screamed. We were like trying to back out of the cave as fast as we could. And then, we went back to, we're like, we saw Bigfoot. And my dad's like, you did not see Bigfoot. I don't know what you saw, but it wasn't Bigfoot. We're like, we swear we saw Bigfoot. And we went up on the trestle. We walked it just like they did in Stand By Me. Luckily, no trains came, but that's something that would have happened to me and my brother. A train would have come and we would have had to run and dive for our lives, but no trains had come. So it was, but that Stand By Me. So I never really had a huge crush on Corey Feldman or Corey Haim, but I definitely remember thinking Corey Haim was cuter than Corey Feldman.
I will agree with that statement. I did think he wasn't like my favorite, but I thought he was a little cuter than Cole.
Wasn't Dylan,
Matt
wasn't
Dillon?
Matt Dillon. He was also in Stand By Me?
Outsiders.
Outsiders, yeah. Oh, he was the terrible brother, right?
No, that was Patrick Swayze. Well, he wasn't terrible. He was just more responsible. No, Matt Dillon was Dally. Yeah, he was Dallas. He was a friend. He was older.
Mm-hmm.
They accidentally killed Soch, and he hit him out.
I'm going to have to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
What year was that movie out?
I'm going to say...
We know 80. I am bad at the years.
I'm going to say 84.
Yeah. See, so that's probably when I watched it, in like 84 or 85.
83. Yeah. I remember I did my book report on that book as long as they would let me. They're finally like, no, you have to do some other book. So I also had a crush on Dolph Lundgren.
We've talked about this. I kept confusing.
Him with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
Who I also had a crush on.
Yes. I remember when you had a crush on Dolph Lundgren. I remember that crush. Yeah.
He was hot. Do you know that he's also like some kind like a physicist or something? Like he's super, super smart.
Yeah, I did know that. But wait, who was the one that was in Top Gun?
That was Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Okay, those three are very similar. They're all into martial arts. They all
I don't think Val Kilmer was ever into martial arts. Are you getting him confused with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Well, yeah, I'm confusing the three of them. I know all three of them. If you were to hold up a picture of each, I would be able to name them. I know who's who. I just keep confusing them in my head.
Like Val Kilmer, he was.
There's
also
a lot of
like,
stuff going on up here, Cindy.
Matt, was it called Mad Science, or he was like a nerd in it, and he was of course in Tombstone, which is one of my very favorite movies in the whole world. He was Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, but that's another one that was a long time ago. I haven't watched it in such a long time.
That is like one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll add that to my list. Tombstone
it's a Western.
Lost,
but it has Sam Elliott. It has.
I'm a huge fan of Sam Elliott. He is like badass.
Goldie Hawn's husband, whatever.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Yes, he's in it. He plays Wyatt Earp. Oh my gosh, the cast is amazing. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kurt Russell, Overboard. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
I love that movie too. I love their chemistry, and I love her daughter Kate Hudson, and I love the chemistry between her and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
in all of their movies.
Yes.
I love them.
You know that Isaiah and I have a love for her.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. That's probably one of my favorite Kate Hudson movies.
Yes. Did you see the one where her and Matthew McConaughey were divorced, but they were treasure hunters?
Yes. But that was a long time ago.
Fool's Gold? I think it's called Fool's Gold.
Fool's Gold. Yep, that is it.
That one's really cute too. But nothing beats How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh my gosh. It's the best. She goes like so crazy. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And he's so patient.
Well, yeah, because he's trying to win.
Yeah, well, of course. And then, of course, at the end, they really do fall in love, which who doesn't love a good love story? Yes. Who else? So aside from TT, who was one of your crushes in real life?
Let's see.
We talked about two of mine, JPS and DQ.
Dairy Queen.
I was going to say, I wonder if he ever knew that there was a restaurant named after him.
I remember there was a boy named Jason in 6th grade, which, 6th grade is when I went to the one school and you went to the other school. And he was at my school. And he was a break dancer. And he wore those little parachute pants. He had a little bit of a mullet going on. My God, he was so
Did he have a tail?
Probably. I thought he was so cute. And then I remember there was like, back then, and maybe it's cool now too, but like if a guy let you wear his jacket,
oh yeah,
that made you feel like, oh my God, it was so
oh
great.
yeah,
there were a couple of boys that I had a crush on that they let me wear their jacket.
You know, it's really funny because there were plenty of boys that I had crushes on in high school, and there were some boys that had crushes on me, but I never really dated. Like, I don't know what it was. Part of it is because my dad had like, he hyped me up where he made me think that nobody was ever good enough for me, which hence the license plates that I had that said T good for you.
Right.
So like the boys that had crushes on me, I'm like, no, no, no.
You
R
wanted the
A
unobtainable ones.
R A R A. But I remember he had a little bit of a crush on me, and he drove. Do you remember he drove an awesome car? He drove a Chevy.
I didn't remember that.
No. He drove like a '69 Nova, and it
Oh.
was like it was a hot rod. It was a nice car, and so I was like, well, he wasn't cute. I mean, he was okay, but just not my type. I was not interested. But he was a boy that had a crush on me and paid me attention. So, I entertained it. And he had a really cool car. But I remember like going to the theater and to the drive-in with him in his car and like laying on the hood and, watching a movie. But he had come over. So I was babysitting the family that we've talked about before. I babysat for them. And he had come over one night when I was babysitting, which that was probably a no-no. So
right.
If they're listening, sorry. But you will be proud of me because he clearly came over there with the intention of doing dirty things with me. And when I realized that like he was there just to play doctor, I was like, no. And so he ended up leaving because I was not willing to,
good job.
Yeah. So though I did have a boy over when I probably wasn't supposed to, he ended up leaving because I wasn't willing to take my pants off. Yeah, I didn't really date a lot because the boys that I had a crush on weren't interested in me. And the boys that had crushes on me, I was not interested in them. So,
well, I just remember, I don't remember, I never dated either. Like, I feel like.
Yeah, because you had one boyfriend for like 18 million years.
Well, I was single for a minute and then.
Like literally a minute.
Do you remember someone that I think had a crush on? Well, he did have a crush on me.
My brother?
No.
My cousin?
No. No. He, and so I got.
Has he been on TV?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I do remember him.
So it's like, he was really, really funny.
Yeah.
And he had dated the popular girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he was popular and stuff. And he was like big and buff. And
wait, what? In high school?
Well, I don't.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, he wasn't.
Are you? He was scrawny and nerdy.
Was he scrawny?
Yes. I think like if you were to talk to him today, he would probably make fun of his high school him.
Well, he was tall.
He was tall, but he
would come and like
gangly and
he would like sit on my lap sometimes trying to flirt with me or whatever. And he was heavy. Like he was not light.
Okay, but you were also tiny in high school, so it's perspective.
True. Well, I just like I'd visit with him he'd like call me and we'd talk on the phone for hours, and it would be such a great like he was so fun to talk to and everything. And and he was popular. And
I remember him. But you weren't popular, Cindy.
I know I wasn't, and so
he was super popular and had a crush on you, but you weren't popular.
And so it's like he kept asking me out, and I'm like, I don't know. And so
I remember.
Like, okay, you can come over and we'll watch a movie.
Yeah.
And he was so handsy. It was like an octopus or something. Like you get rid of one hand and another hand came, and then another hand. You're like, oh my gosh.
I hope he listens.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I hope he listens. We're friends on Facebook.
Oh, are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, and then of course the next day everybody's like, "Oh, Cindy, I heard about you and so and so." And I was like, "Yeah, what did you hear?" Oh, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what he told you, but nothing happened."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I'm pretty sure I got a call immediately after that night, or
Oh, of
maybe
course.
even during. But I remember you were like, yeah, didn't you end up kissing him and it was like super slobbery?
Yes. Well,
Sure.
he had
He's
like a
quite.
mouthful of braces and stuff too,
Yes, he had
remember?
braces. He's quite handsome now. He's done very well for himself. His wife is gorgeous. He looks like he is living quite the life. So you didn't bruise him too much.
Oh, I guess. Okay, good.
He's done well.
Good. That whole thing reminded me, the TT, there
Yeah.
was one other time. So he would always say, "Oh, we should go out sometime. What are you doing this weekend?" Nothing. "Oh, okay." And then I'd never hear from him. I'm just, whatever. It's so dumb. And then same kind of thing, like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" "Working, at the pizza parlor."
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh, what time do you get off work?" 9 or something. "Oh, okay, maybe I'll come over." I'm like, "Yeah, right, whatever."
And then
He
he
came.
did.
Oh, yes. And remember how you'd get like
Oh yeah. You
sausage under your
smelled
fingers?
like
Yeah,
the
you smell.
pizza. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, of course he shows up like right when I get here after work.
I remember the first time you went to Cancun on a family vacation. We worked at the pizza place, and I remember you came back and you were super tan, and I was super jealous.
Oh,
That's
well,
when you tried to go bungee jumping and you wouldn't
oh,
go, and they tried to
no.
push you, and you were like, "No!"
Yeah, nope. My body's like, nope, we're not doing that. Nope. I had to
It's
pay
funny.
for it and I went back down.
It's
Nope.
funny that they were trying to push you off, and you were still like, "Nope."
Nope. It was not happening. Nope.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, my dad, they were like, okay, on the count of 3, 1, and he just jumped.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not me.
I've been bungee jumping and I've been skydiving. And I can tell you that bungee jumping is way more exhilarating than skydiving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's because when you're skydiving, like, yeah, you're falling at like 200 miles an hour towards the earth, but there's nothing around you. So there's nothing to really gauge how fast you're falling. When you bungee jump, you see like you know that you're falling. I mean, skydiving, your face is like, I have a video of my skydive and I have a ton of pictures of me bungee jumping, but the bungee jumping, I would absolutely do that again. Skydiving, it wasn't that great. Like,
okay,
whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do either one after my back surgery. So,
well, this is true. Probably a good idea.
Bungee jumping would be like,
after you got in your car accident, there was a time, I think you were staying at your mom's house. This might have been after you broke up with the one that we don't talk about.
mm-hmm.
So you were
he who must not be named.
Yeah, he who must not be named. And you were staying at your mom's again. And so I had come over and I was spending the night with you. You have a picture of this also where we were dancing to like Thriller or something. And
yes.
like our hair's in ponytails and we're wearing sweats. But you had went to like, you dropped down and like did this roll and you were like, "Oh my God, ow." And I'm like, "What happened?" You're like, I think I landed on the ironing board because your mom had her ironing board out. And it had like the stand, which was like 2 little like metal things. Yeah. You thought you had rolled over that, but it was actually the rods in your back.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was like, "Oh, it's not okay."
Yeah. You have a picture of that day when we're dancing in our sweat. I'm 99% sure I've seen that picture.
Yep, I have.
I'm pretty sure I was wearing red sweats and you were wearing blue.
With a yellow sweatshirt.
Yellow sweatshirt. I was going to say a yellow sweatshirt. Yep.
Yeah.
And we totally looked like scumbags.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, every time when Chris is with me, I'm like, "Oh God, I look like a scumbag or whatever." And he's just like, "Oh, it's so hot." I'm like, "Ew, what?"
Well, it's funny, like, but when we were young, like, well, I'm still this way. Like, I really don't have BO. Like,
no, me neither.
It's like I can go a couple days without showering, and even Isaiah says, "Don't you want to take a shower?" I'm like, "I'm fine." He's like, "It's annoying that you don't actually smell."
Right.
But
Yeah, I
also,
don't
like, your
sweat.
breath never stank. You never had body over. I remember I did have bad breath, but that's probably because I had really bad teeth also when I was a kid. So even when we thought, like, oh my God, we're so gross, like, we weren't really. I mean, we may have looked a little, like, tore up, but
Right.
we didn't
Do you
stink.
do you remember when we'd come to school and anytime we had our hair up in a ponytail, it's like, oh, you didn't take a shower, did you? Or you didn't wash your hair. It's like, yep.
Yep. To this day, if I'm wearing a hat, you know that there is grease underneath it.
Yeah.
If you see Char in a hat, I have not washed my hair. So that still applies today.
So do you have any more crushes you want to talk about before we move on to trivia?
I don't.
Yeah, I think we talked about enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I had tons more crushes. I was boy crazy. I think you were too.
Oh, yeah. We both were.
Always, like everything boys, boys, boys.
I did have a crush on, so one of our friends, her name was CP.
CP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her,
go on.
her, I think her dad like raced cars at the racetrack. Her mom was a nurse. I would hang out with her a lot because I lived right down the street when I lived over by the fairgrounds. So we became pretty good friends. We would go to the racetrack a lot too because I'm pretty sure her dad raced or he was a flagman or a paramedic or her dad did something at the races. So we were always there. Well, her cousin had come into town one weekend and I immediately fell head over heels in love with her cousin. He was so cute and he was crushing on me too. So I remember like hugging and snuggling and cuddling with him like we were when we were at the races. It never really went anything more than that. It was always like just a lot of like holding each other tight. But I had a huge crush on him. I think even for a while we like wrote each other letters and then it faded.
Fizzled.
Very quickly it fizzled.
All right, what trivia do you have for us?
Okay, so we're going to do 80s pop trivia.
Okay.
So it could be anything. It could be just fun facts or music or whatever. Okay, so question number 1. Who was the president of the U.S. during most of the 1980s?
I'm going to say Ronald Reagan.
Yes. Some of them are easy. So who was his wife?
Nancy Reagan.
And what campaign did she start?
Was it the like say no to drugs?
Specifically, yes, but it
DARE.
specifically was DARE.
Okay.
Just say no to drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. What was the name of the arcade game released in 1980 that ate dots and ghosts?
Pac-Man.
Yeah, super easy. Do you remember because everybody was playing Pac-Man, they started getting like tendonitis and they called it Pac-Man elbow?
I don't remember that. That's hilarious. I got Pac-Man elbow.
Yeah, it was a thing back then. My dad loved Pac-Man. It was one of the games that we'd play when we went to the pizza parlor.
Absolutely.
And also, we were talking about the driving game last week at the pizza parlor. It wasn't California Cruising. It was Pole Position.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember also they had video games at the skating rink?
Mm-hmm. I remember my favorite thing at the skating rink was the foot-long licorice, the red rope.
The red ropes. Yeah. I can never find those now.
Yeah, good luck. Those were my favorite. If I found one
delicious.
today, I would buy one too.
Yeah.
Okay. So you probably won't know this, but
try me.
Okay. I'll give you a hint too though. So who won the Super Bowl in what was it? 1980. I forget the year.
Oh, well, I would have known if you knew the year.
I think it was 86. Yeah.
I don't know. The Oakland Raiders.
No.
The San Francisco 49ers.
No.
Okay.
So I'll give you a hint. They also had a rap song that they were famously known for.
Is it the Shuffle?
It's specifically called the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Is it like the Buffalo Bills or
Mm-mm.
something?
No.
I don't know. I remember the Super Bowl Shuffle though.
It's a little disappointing. What if I told you Refrigerator Perry was on the team that did the Super Bowl Shuffle?
Dallas Cowboys? I don't know.
Oh, dear. You just spent a whole Sunday at my house watching nothing but football.
I learned a lot of new curse words, if that's what you're talking about.
Between Isaiah and myself, I always have to, I'm like, babe, the dog, you're scaring the dogs. I'll be like,
Yes.
oh, Murphy, it's okay. Papa's not yelling at you. It's the TV.
Until it's your game.
Until it's my game. And then I'm like, Murphy's got it. Yeah. And then it's just as bad. And, but it's funny because Isaiah will be like, babe, it's okay. Blah, blah. I'm like, you are one to talk. Like,
Right.
did you hear yourself 3 hours ago?
So who was it?
I'm getting there. It's the Chicago Bears. Refrigerator Perry, Super Bowl Shuffle. It's the whole team doing the Super Bowl. Anyways, okay. So, as you know, we have friends in the UK. I have friends in the UK. You've met them also.
Yeah.
Well, you've met one of them. So this is in honor of them. So, Claire, Lisa, if you're watching, which British prime minister was known for her conservative policies during the 80s? It's a very well-known person. Even though
Elizabeth.
No.
Princess Diana.
She was a prime minister, not a princess or a queen.
I don't know.
Claire's going to be so disappointed in you, Cindy. Although I'm a little offended that Claire listens to our podcast to go to sleep. When Lisa told me that, I'm like, should I be offended? She's like, no, she loves them.
Man, it puts me right to sleep.
I know. I'm like, I think I'm offended. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm offended. No,
Yeah.
I'm not offended. I love that she listens to it. But no, once I tell you this name, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Margaret Thatcher.
Oh.
Are you just saying that, but you really have no idea who she is?
I've heard that name, but I
But at least you're pretty.
and apparently I'm popular.
And popular. You're pretty and popular. Not smart, but you're very pretty and popular.
Right.
Okay. Who was the first African-American woman to win an Academy Award? And it was in 1982. Her speech was like the most emotional Academy Award winning speech ever. If I give you the movie, it will give it away. So
Is it Oprah Winfrey? Okay, I don't know.
What movie would Oprah had won an Academy
I
Award?
thought she was in The Color Purple.
She was.
Okay.
There's a different person that won. Actually, she did win something, but she wasn't the first one. I don't know if it was an Academy,
Okay.
but it wasn't the first one. Okay, so I'll give you the movie and then maybe Monsters Ball.
Oh, Halle Berry. That came out
You remember
in the
now
80s?
the red dress that she wore? It
Yes.
was like a burgundy dress, the see-through back. Like she looked gorgeous.
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh.
1982.
Okay.
We're old, Cindy.
Okay.
We're old.
Okay.
Okay. So this one's a good one. And you better know this one. Only because there's like sentimental value attached to it. So,
Okay.
what was the name of the catastrophic nuclear accident that happened in 1986?
Chernobyl.
Yeah. Chernobyl.
That's what Matt always called
Yes.
me.
Matt used to call me Chernobyl.
Yes.
Even though he really did love me.
Right.
So that actually was it was a,
He didn't think you were a toxic nuclear
no.
wasteland.
Or Ukrainian. He didn't think
Right.
I was. Yeah, but yeah, Matt used to call me Chernobyl. I think he still does. Like if I was to see him today, he'd probably call me Chernobyl.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, this is the last question I have. What was the name of the virus that caused a global outbreak of the illness in 1980?
Was it bird flu?
That was not in the 80s.
When was it?
Like in the 2000s, maybe the 90s, but I'm pretty sure that was in the 2000s.
Was it the Asian flu? I got the Asian flu when I was little. What? Oh, is it AIDS? I was trying to think of something that like we got. Obviously, we didn't get AIDS,
So I didn't get any of those flus because I got my booster shots at school.
Right, instead of at the doctor.
Instead of at the doctor's office, they were way more potent at the school because they were like, clearly these families cannot afford to go to a doctor, so we're gonna like double dose these kids. So I never got bird flu or the other one that you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's all the trivia I had. All right, B2. Well, until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.